So let's bring in a guy who's trying to do something about this crazy media stuff. His name is Mike Davis. He's coming to us from Denver, Colorado. He's the founder and president of Unsilenced Majority, a relatively new organization which is opposed to cancel culture in all forms and corporate censorship in all forms. So, Mike, thanks for coming on and talking to us today. Very specifically, what is your organization doing to try to combat the cancel culture?
Thank you for having me on, Bill. So what we're trying to do with Unsilenced Majority, which we launched last Monday, is organize everyday Americans, conservatives, independents, even Democrats who are tired of cancel culture, who are tired of the censorship, who are tired of the woke mobs, who are tired of being told they're racist because the Black Lives Matter and this Marxist-driven ideology is telling us that we need, with equity and critical race theory, that we're just an inherently bad country, and we need to be less racist in America. I think we're tired of that. And so what we're trying to do with Unsilenced Majority is organize a groundswell of people to fight back. And so we have people going to our website, sign up for our email newsletter, sign up for our Twitter account, Facebook, Parler, YouTube. And so when there are issues that come up, we can activate these everyday Americans and fight back.
All right. Now, how long have you been doing this, and how many folks do you have?
We have, so we just started last Monday, and we've had a huge, overwhelming support on our website at unsilencedmajority.org, also on our Twitter at unsilenced.org. And we are making an impact already. We're getting a lot of earned media, and we're raising some issues. Like, for example, with Lieutenant Colonel Matthew Lohmeyer in the Space Command. He was just relieved of his command. He was just fired by the Biden Pentagon because he wrote a book and went on a podcast to talk about Marxism in the military. He was fired for this. And so we raised this as an issue, and now it just got raised from the general looking at this. It got raised to the Pentagon level, because I think the Biden Pentagon realized they made a mistake here. We've seen with Dr. Scott Atlas. He was canceled. He's a Stanford medical professor, Stanford doctor, and he was canceled from big tech because he raised the alarm months ago about the fact that these stay-home orders are causing more harm than good with COVID.
Right.
We saw sorry about that. Go ahead.
No. That's the primary cancel culture weapon, is the internet, that you can be banned from a lot of these social media companies if they don't like what you say, and they'll make up a reason why. But how can you, and even a grassroots organization, even if you got millions of people, how can you go up against these social media companies who are so wealthy and powerful, and why are they going to care what you say?
Well, there's a couple ways you can go out. So the biggest proponents, enablers, and enforcers of cancel culture are big tech and big media. So what we're noticing with these corporations are, whether it's Coca-Cola, Major League Baseball, Delta, we don't think that these corporate CEOs are actually woke or actually care about this stuff. All they care about is they have these these woke employees and these activist shareholders who are raising a fuss, and so they want to quiet.
But that's true, and you can hurt them. You can hurt them. I mean, Coca-Cola has been hurt big time. And now they're drawing back. The guy's saying, the CEO is saying, well, we're not going to do this anymore. But with Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and all of that, you're not going to be able to hurt them like you can hurt an individual company.
Well, there are two ways you can hurt big tech, and one is to put pressure on attorneys general around the country, Congress, the FTC, the Antitrust Division at the Justice Department, to enforce our century-old antitrust laws. And we have been doing that for the last year, and it's actually it's been working.
Right. So explain that. Explain that, Mike, so even I can understand it. Say you go to Texas, which is sympathetic to you and your group, all right? And you go to the Attorney General and you go, we have 4 Texans who were booted off some social media company. We'd like you to do what?
So we would say we need to enforce our antitrust laws. The reason these big tech monopolists have the power to do what they do, Google, Amazon, Facebook, Apple, Twitter, the reason they have the power to do what they do, the reason they are able to censor, to silence, to deplatform people with whom they disagree is because they have monopolies. And the reason we have monopolies is because we have antitrust amnesty in this country, or we did for over a decade, where we did not enforce our century-old antitrust laws. And so by pushing these law enforcers at the federal level and at the state level to enforce our century-old antitrust laws, the Sherman Act, the Clayton Act, you take away big tech's power.
Well, you're not going to get it from the federal level as long as the Biden administration is there. You know that. But states, you could, theoretically mobilize the attorney general to say, we're going to file a lawsuit against whoever because they're restraining trade and they're violating people's rights of First Amendment. That's where you go. First Amendment rights, Mike. That's where you go. Now, do you have attorneys working with you? Do you have experts who can craft this stuff?
We just started on Monday for the Unsilenced Majority. We are raising our profile. We have extensive connections with attorneys all over America. We have extensive connections with law enforcement. We have extensive connections with elected leaders in Congress and in states all over America. We are going to be a force, and we are going to be a counterbalance.
Look, you're just an American citizen who's doing what he believes is his patriotic duty. Last question. How can the folks watching us right now help you?
I appreciate that, Bill. They can go to unsilencedmajority.org, unsilencedmajority.org, and then also follow us on Twitter, unsilenced.org, Facebook, Parler, and YouTube.
All right. So Unsilenced Majority is one word, .org. Even I could do that. I mean, that's right. All right, Mike, I want you to check in with us from time to time, see how it goes. Certainly, I think the majority of Americans are on your side, and I hope they respond well to this interview. Thanks again, Mike. Appreciate it. Stay strong.
Hey, thanks for having me, Bill.